and welcome back. We're doing something a little bit different today, which is a phrase I find myself saying all the time. So is it really different? Probably not. But I wanted to talk to you guys about some stuff. I didn't really have a script or a plan for this video, but I wanted to give you guys a bit of an update on everything. Specifically pertaining to me and the channel and all that sort of stuff and streaming. I don't know, it's just kind of like a brain dump. I don't know what we're doing. So trigger warning, I'm going to be talking about a little bit of mental health stuff, so you know, that's a thing. I'm not going to be going into too many details, but yeah. Also, I'm sorry if I sound a little bit sick, because I am sick. Don't worry, guys, I'm not dying, at least not that I'm aware of. So thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it, because I know most of you guys are here for Sims, and so I really appreciate when you guys watch other stuff that I produce, and also just being here. And I don't know, if to me it signifies if you're watching this, you actually care about me versus the Sims 100 Baby Challenge. I don't know, and I appreciate that, and that gives me warm fuzzies, so I appreciate you. So let's talk about a couple things. I'm going to start with why the channel's been so inconsistent this year. The main reason is that probably since, I'm going to say, early February, late January, I've been going through probably one of the worst mental breakdowns I've gone through. I suffer from depression and anxiety. Suffer's probably not the right word. I handle. I am diagnosed with these things, and yeah, I've been in a pretty dark place. And so some days I just don't have the energy to record or stream or do anything, really. I'm gonna be honest, I actually have a reminder now to brush my teeth every day. And I'm recording this on a Friday, and I've probably brushed my teeth 3 times this week, so I'm probably still not great. It's pretty nasty, but sometimes, you know, I just can't do it. So that kind of gives you a bit of a glimpse into how things are going for me at the moment. I'm going to put up some stats now, because I actually use an app called Dailyo, which I love. Not sponsored, by the way. And it kind of lets you, it's kind of like a diary, and it gives you a graph. You can rate your mood. It's good. And in the past 3 years, this is the worst my mood has ever been. On a consistent average basis, and mentally I feel like it's probably the second worst mental breakdown I've had, or at least the second worst my mental health's ever been. The worst was probably when I was 16, 17, 18-ish. But anyways, we're not here to talk about that. But yeah, so I'm not in a great space, and so that's kind of why stuff's been so inconsistent, and I just kind of wanted to address that, because it's kind of been a bit of a sore thumb, I guess, and sticking out to me. What else did I want to say about this? I suppose I should talk about June. Boy, June has been intense for me. So I was finally starting to feel a bit better at the start of June, and then I realized I was going to Hamilton in 2 weeks, because I went and saw Hamilton on the 19th of, not the 19th? Actually, yeah, it was the 19th of June, and I went with my mother and my father, and it was originally just my dad and I going, and my mum kind of invited herself along, which is fine, I guess, but my mother and I, we kind of, there's some history there, I guess. I mean, I suppose she's my mother. Of course, there's history. But put it this way, her coming did not lead to the most relaxing experience for me. So I was a little bit, I was a bit wound up before we went. And, you know, just a bit stressed out. And so we left on the Friday the 18th. I just want to give you like a peek of what has happened to me over the past few weeks. So we left on the 18th. And we stayed with my grandmother. And the night of the 18th, I had a runny nose. And I'm like, oh no, I'm sick. And I'm like, what if? I'm like, I know it's not COVID. There's been no COVID cases in my area for like a year in my town. So there's like a 0.01% chance I have COVID. But Hamilton is in Sydney. And they have lots of COVID stuff. So I'm like, I don't want to get kicked out of Hamilton. I paid $500 for the room. I paid $500 for the tickets. You know, it was over $1,000. There's gas money. There's food money. You know, I'm paying someone to look after my animals. This is like over $1,000. I'm like, and I'm very, very sure it's not COVID. It wasn't, by the way. So I was like, oh shit. So I was added stress. So morning of the 19th, my cold is still here. That's great. And so I was like, okay, what are we gonna do? And so my dad like went to the store and he bought me some Powerade, and we got drugs, vitamin C, and kind of pushed through. We got lost in Sydney. I got upset because I'm like, you know, everything's going wrong. And then when we went to get out of the car, when we got to the hotel, my shoe broke. And I'm like, oh my goodness, everything is going wrong. That's fine. And then we went to inside the hotel. We were staying at a 5-star hotel. And it was so large and like fancy, and I felt so out of place. I practically had a panic attack because it was like, oh my god, I was freaking out. It was probably a good thing my dad went for a walk and left me in the car. I sat in the car for about 2 hours until my mother arrived. Her car broke down on the way there, so that was fun. Just another thing that kind of went wrong. Then we had lunch. We saw Hamilton because I was sick, and obviously everyone had to wear masks, and I was scared to blow my nose. This is really gross, but like my nose was running. It only had one place to go. I'm not gonna tell you what happened, but you can probably work it out. So I've been coughing up a lot of gross stuff for the past 2 weeks. Yeah. Anyways, and yeah, so that was the thing. We saw it. It was good. It was good. We got home in the end. It was fine. And you know, my cat was kind of happy to see me, and I was patting him, and I noticed he had a tick on his chin. I'm like, oh shit, because he was scared of the guy that was sitting, because he's not very good with other people. I feel like most cats aren't friendly with people, so it's like a pretty normal thing. So it's obviously not the sitter's fault. And so I was like, oh shit. And so I went and told my dad, because I'm not very good at stuff like that, because my dad lives with me. And he was having a nap, so I couldn't go tell him. I was like, it's okay. Well, it's been on him for like, because he got out he got out Wednesday. So it was the 16th, because Dad was filming some people in the house. My dad's a videographer. And so they let him out of the house. He got out, and yeah. And so we think that's probably when he picked it up, because he's not allowed outside otherwise, because it's a really busy road. So, you know, that's okay. And so by the time I woke my dad up crying, because you know, my cat, you know, I went back down, I sat down, and my cat decided that I had to be punished for my my leaving him. And so he went to attack me, and he did. He managed to bruise my arm. Like, he leaped at me with such force the cuts that he gave me on my arm bruised automatically. He's a little asshole, but he's my asshole and I love him. And so I was like, fucking hell. And so I like kicked him away. I didn't kick him. Like I picked him up and then I took him out of my room. Like I kicked him out. That's like an expression in Australia. I didn't actually hurt him because he's my baby and I love him. And so, you know, I was just so upset because, you know, I'd been sick. You know, everything had gone wrong. I sat down on my desk and I hysterically cried. I'm gonna cry now too. Give me a second. Okay, I'm done crying. Sorry, mid-story. Look, I'm a bit of an emotional person. And so, yeah, so I was upset. My cat had attacked me. I was in pain and I was mentally upset as well. Not just physically upset. But anyway, so I had a bit of a hysterical breakdown. That woke my dad up. And then I'm like snot crying. And he was like, I was like, the cat has a tick. And so my dad looked for it. And we looked for it. And it wasn't there. And so we're like, oh, well, it must have dropped off. And so that was kind of that. And we were like, okay, well, no harm, no foul. And then the next day, we woke up in the morning and my cat's eyelids were really, really weird. Like, they were so gross. They were actually, like, if you Google cat's third eyelid, warning, it's, like, gross. Like, it's super gross. His, like, third eyelid was pretty much halfway across his eye, so it looked like he had, like, no pupils. It was really creepy, and looked really gross. I'm like, well, that's not normal, is it? And so my dad's like, no, it's not. And so we kind of looked again for a tick, couldn't find anything, and you know, we're like, okay. And so we kind of like, we left him for the morning, and so eventually we did actually find a tick on him, and it wasn't actually biting him, it was just crawling around on him, so that was lucky. I said, we really need to take him to the vet. And Dad's like, well, we've got it off him now, so it should be okay. I was like, okay, well, and, so we left him, and probably not the smartest move. I would have liked to take him, but, you know, it's happened now, so, you know, and he's okay. I want to preface the story with he's okay now. He's bald, but he's okay. And so in the morning, he was kind of wonky on his feet as well, and his eyelids were still weird. I said, Dad, we need to take him to the vet. So we took him to the vet. And they searched for about an hour, and they couldn't find, and they said, look, we'll have a bit more of a look at him. We've got other people we need to see. We'll have some other vets take a look. Maybe I'm just missing something. And so it was fine. And so they said, we'll keep him for now and that'll be okay. And so they did. They kept him, and they had 3 more vets look after him. I also want to preface too that I'm still sick as. Like, I'm like, my nose is like a waterfall. I'm coughing. My glands are swollen. I'm exhausted. I'm upset about my cat. So I was not in a great state. And so then they called me in the afternoon. They said, look, we've not found another tick on him. We want to shave him to make sure there's no ticks on him. And I said, okay, sure, shave him. And she's like, and we also want to run some blood tests to rule out that sort of stuff. And I'm like, sure, okay, that's fine, whatever. Whatever to fix my boy. And so they did. The blood test came back clear. They didn't find any more ticks on him, even after shaving him. They kept him for 3 days at the vets. It cost me about $800. But I was very glad to get my boy back to me. He's back to normal now, minus the fur. He looks ridiculous. He's so funny. His head's not shaved. His feet aren't shaved, and his ball sack isn't shaved. So I wanted to point that out, but every other part of him is shaved, like his legs, his torso, his pouch, he just looks ridiculous. It's so funny. He looks, oh, it's just hilarious. But anyways, so, and I'm still sick. And so that kind of like, I suppose, set the tone. So we got him back on, we got back on the Monday, and we got him back probably last Thursday, I think it was, because we took him to the event on the 22nd of June, ish. So I think we got him back on the 24th. So it was kind of wild. I had recreation leave planned for the 21st, 22nd, and 3rd, and then I don't work on the Thursday, Friday. And so I was sick the whole week that I was meant to be off. And it was my birthday on the 27th. I turned 27 and I was still sick. And it's now the 2nd of July and I'm still sick, but I'm mostly better now. I've just got a bit of a lingering cough and, you know, that sort of stuff. But, so that was my holiday, my birthday holiday. And so I'm hopeful now that that's all over. Things are going to be on the up for me. And, yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about it because I feel like, well, for one, there's not going to be any videos for about 2 weeks. Oh gosh, I don't even know when. Look, I've not been even looking really at my channel because I've just been so busy. Not so busy. I've been dying, really, is the main thing. So I've got videos. I've got Lunar Zodiac on the 6th of July. I've got 100 Baby on the 8th of July. That's my brother's birthday. And I've got more 100 Baby on the 12th of July. I'm recording this on the 2nd. You might see it, I don't know, on the 3rd or the 4th. Maybe the 5th. Who knows? We'll see. Whenever I get to editing it. And I didn't record anything for the week after. So the week of the... Pretty much there's no Runaway Teen on the week from the 18th through to the... well, the 13th through to the 18th. And then I didn't record because I was preparing to go away. And then I didn't record anything through the 19th of July through to the 25th of July because I was away and sick. And then I was going to do catch up and actually record those episodes then through to the 26th and the 31st of July. But I was sick. So I've been working on some builds. I've built a rental place in Solani. I've also built a gym and library. I forgot to press record when I built it, so it's going to be a tour. It's in Oasis Springs. I've built a little restaurant, and I also want to build an art center and a nightclub there. And I'm also got a pool, so there's like 3 weeks of builds, and then I also wanted to do an update on this other game that I'm playing, Cozy Grove. It's a lot of fun. If you like Animal Crossing, you'll probably like it. So there's like 3 weeks of non-standard videos coming after 2 weeks of no videos. So I figured I should do a video on that because it's kind of weird. You know, we're doing something a little bit different today. But yeah, so I just kind of wanted to talk about that. And I also kind of wanted to address one more thing. I'm sorry that I've not been that responsive with comments. I see them. I do, and sometimes I take like 2 days to respond, and I know that's really shitty. And sometimes I don't respond at all, which is also really shitty. And I know also that my videos have been... There's been a lot missed this year. There's been a lot of stuff that has not happened. So this is kind of like an apology. I'm sorry that my mental health and life has been a dumpster fire. But yeah, and I also want to say, like, this is like really dumb, but when my mental health isn't great and then I push myself to record something, I know it's not as good. And then, but I worked really hard on it, and then it gets like 2 views, and I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. That's okay. I didn't, just spend like 2 hours crying to make, to get 2 views. That's fine. That's okay. I'm just gonna go cry some more. So, but it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because like if I don't record, there's not going to be views, and if I do record, it's not going to be as good. So and either way, it makes me feel shitty. Excuse me, I need to clear my throat for a second. Okay, that's a lot better. As you can tell, I'm still sick. But yeah, so I appreciate the people that have been sticking around and stuff, but yeah. I wanted to apologize, I guess, that everything's been such a hot mess, and I'm hopeful that things are gonna kind of return to normal. I would like to actually do a change in the schedule as well. At the moment, we have a 2-week schedule where I do Lunar Zodiac and 100 Baby Challenge, like 2 episodes, and then the next week I do Runaway Teen in The Sims 3, and then a non-Sims game. I am looking to change that. I will probably change that when I'm sorry, I'm keeping on clearing my throat. Oh, this is the most talking I've done in like 3 weeks, because I've been dying. But I'm probably gonna change it to be when Runaway Teen finishes. I'm probably gonna change it to a 1-week schedule and have Lunar Zodiac, 100 Baby, just 1 episode, and then a non-Sims episode. So it'll be the stuff we have happens every week, but there's just less stuff. And I'd like to try to stream once a week as well, but we'll see. Because you know I'm dying. Well, not dying, but like I just will. That's kind of like depends on how I'm doing. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of weird. And I feel like this video has been a hot mess. It's kind of like the peak of my mental health. I feel like this is kind of where I wanted to record it while I was sick, because it kind of shows how I'm functioning at. And I just kind of wanted to show that off, to show that, it's okay not to be okay. And I've not been okay. And I really appreciate you guys sticking through it, and hopefully things get better, and hopefully we've got some more regular content on the channel. And I realize I sound kind of like a crazed woman. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, not doing very good, but hopefully I can make some videos. Yeah, I realize that's what I sound like, but that's kind of how I feel like, and I feel like I don't often portray that side, so I hope you guys enjoyed a more vulnerable Nooblet. That's all I really kind of wanted to say. Maybe I should have written a script, because this is like a hot mess, but I'm excited for Bagel Country. I don't know. I don't even know what it's called. The cottage thing. I don't know. Cottage cheese. The cheese pack. It'd be cool if there was cheese. You know the one. The one with the llama. The talks of the trailer. How fucking weird is that talking llama? I don't like that he talks to me. I really didn't enjoy that. It was like, I saw that as soon as I woke up this morning. I was like, what in the fresh hell is this? This is freaking weird. But anyways, that's where I'm at the moment, guys. But things are getting better. I'm starting to finally not be sick. And, you know, I was feeling better before I went away, like mentally. Yeah, hopefully that trend continues. And hopefully we kind of get back to some semblance of normalcy on the channel. But we'll see. We will see. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I'm sorry that this was a disaster. I'm gonna call this the peak of my disaster. I might get a few more views. Thanks to the 5 of you who are still watching. Actually, my YouTube analytics will probably tell me that there will be 1 person who watches this far, and you are the real MVP. I appreciate you. Did you know that YouTube tells, like, that's another thing. YouTube tells me my average view duration on my videos. And you guys don't even watch half of them. That's what upsets me the most. It's like, on average, you know, people only watch like 5 minutes. I'm like, what the frick are you doing? How can you just do that to me? Anyways. I really don't like the new YouTube dashboard. It shows me too much information. And as someone who has anxiety and depression and has been dealing with that, it's a bit depressing and deflating to see that. But I'm rambling and, I mean, okay. I should have written a script, man. Look. It's okay, guys. I want to talk to you, but I don't know what else to say. Maybe I'll try to stream. Although, the amount of times I had to, like, cut out coughing and, like, dying, throat clearing, maybe not a good idea. But anyways, I appreciate you so much, and you're wonderful, and I hope things are going well for you and that you guys are staying safe. I know a lot of you are in California. Well, I know a lot of you are in America, and I know California is popular, and I know California is on fire at the moment, so I hope you guys are safe. Either way, if you're not on fire, I hope you're safe as well. I mean, I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go. I keep on putting my foot in my mouth, but don't be on fire. It's bad. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time for my next mental breakdown video, and it'll be a great time. Oh, thanks so much. Bye-bye.